we're winning with Wilks. Let's talk about this defense for a second. So, yes, Zach Charbonnet, I swear to God, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I think I am. 4 receptions was the most receptions out of anyone on that team on Thanksgiving. A lot of receivers had 3. DK Metcalf, notably, only had 3 with 30 held to 32 yards, which super impressive. And another important statistic here, 6 sacks. This is sort of what we were pressing our defense to do all along. And, we have Chase Young, who I think was the difference between the cup being full and then the cup pouring over. And that is what we're beginning to see, is that all of a sudden, because when you pulled up the statistics, because one of my shows, I pulled up the stats from where we were up to that point this year, where we were up to that point last year. We were actually outperforming in a lot of categories. But where we were not overperforming was sacks. And ultimately, our bully defense, demoralize the offense type of style of play really kicks into gear when that quarterback starts tasting dirt. And that's what we've begun to see. 6 sacks is beautiful. And we have seen a consistency in that delivery, both from Chase Young and from Nick Bosa. And now they're starting to get some juice. Now they're starting to get some swagger. And I can't attest, nor could I quantify the value of what moving Steve Wilks down to the sidelines has done. But I can say that Chase Young plus Steve Wilks on sideline plus whatever adjustments that he had to make over that period of time has equaled more success and a stabilization and consistency in a defense that we needed to see badly going into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. It's really hard to put your finger on exactly what the change was, obviously outside the fact of those 2 main factors. But could that be it? Could it really be that simple of taking Steve Wilks, putting him on the field to shore up communication, pass along real-time adjustments, and that being the kind of thing to pivot the fortunes of the 49ers defense? And then, of course, like Chase Young's addition to this already stout defensive line has been so huge. And we've seen it already. 3 games with Chase Young, 49ers have racked up those elusive 15 sacks. And, when I was watching the 49ers defensive tape, one of the things that stood out to me early on in the season was their lack of pass rush from the opposite side. I've always felt like Cleveland Farrell's been a decent edge, but he wasn't that difference maker that the 49ers needed.
Yep.
Opposite of him, and Drake Jackson came out with a bang with 3 sacks against the Steelers, and then we didn't really see much from him from that point moving forward. And then they get Randy Gregory, which was a nice move, but Chase Young was the move that they needed to make. And it's like a combination of those things. And I guess we can't forget either the adjustments with the secondary. In base down situations, you got Diamador Lenore and Charvarius Ward. And then when you move the nickel, you kick Diamador inside, and then you bring Ambry Thomas out. And Ambry Thomas is having a bit of a resurgence in his career. The defense is just absolutely playing lights out. We know Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner are going to be flying all over the field. And it feels like with the way the D-line's playing, the linebackers are playing more freely because they're not getting linemen on them. And everything is falling into play, right? It's the whole reason why the 49ers truthfully believe that you've got to build from the defensive line out, and you've seen that addition of Chase Young, the adjustments on the back end that Steve Wilks has made has really rounded out this defense, and they're coming into form at the right time.
Absolutely. And you always want to stay in the moment, but it's so hard. You really hope Chase Young likes it here so much that he'd be willing to make concessions later down the road.
Take a pay cut a little bit.
Yeah, just as a just tiny one, man. If I were to guess, I think this will sort of be a nice reunion for him and Bosa. And then I think some tough decisions need to be made in the offseason. He very well
Yeah.
could be on another team next year, but just what a clever move by John Lynch to
Mhm.
bring him in at an effectively zero risk policy. I mean, compensatory pick effectively for Chase Young. I will take that for sure, especially knowing what we know now.